Hello everybody, thanks for joining me again. I've come up onto Dartmoor today. It's looks like it's going to be a sunny day. So I've come to a place where I know there's a lot of different habitats. So I've got the tors behind me here and some open moorland. But I think with the sun being high in the sky, it's going to be too bright for anything special here. But then I've also got the woodland and some brooks and the River Dart down below me here. There's a little bit of mist, but that's soon going to burn off. But some of the brooks are in shadow most of the day, so there's always some photographs of the waterfalls. And you never know, the weather forecast for this week is changeable, so we might get some cloud later on. So I might be able to come back up onto the moor or to these rocks and take some photographs up here. Anyway, let's see what I can find. So I've made it down to the woodland, as you can see. Still quite a bit of sun coming through the trees, but down there is the River Dart, and I also have, I don't know if you can make it out there, there's also a brook that runs down this valley and into the river. So I'm going to go down and see if I can get any shots of the brook, and then maybe something in the woodland as well. If you hadn't noticed, I'm vlogging on my new camera. I've just bought myself a Sony A6600 with the shooting grip underneath, and I've got my Rode mic attached to it. So this is the first outing. We'll see how things go. Right, let's see what I can find. So before I get too close to the water, and you can't hear me using the GoPro mic, I thought I'd show you the setup I've got. So I've got this new Sony A6600, and as you can see, I've got a Rode mic on it, which is attached to myself, and a Sony 16-55 G lens on, and there you can see I've also got the Sony grip underneath, which is connected by Bluetooth to the camera. And I'm actually using the Rode mic to record the sound, just in case the GoPro is not too good. And yeah, as you can see, quite a nice setup. Still slightly heavy, especially with this lens on, but let's see how we get on. as you can see, this is quite a nice little shot of this brook cascading down through the rocks, and then where it hits some boulders, get this lovely little waterfalls. Now I've taken this shot before, but wasn't really happy with the composition, so let's see what I can do today. What I was trying to do is focus stack the image so that I've got everything in focus. So took several shots focusing on the waterfall in the foreground here, and then a little bit further up and then the background. And then on one of the shots I had the sunlight coming through the trees at the top, so I was also doing an exposure blend as well. So again, I took an exposure of the top of the photograph at a faster shutter speed, and then when I came down to the waterfall down here, did a slower shutter speed, and I'll blend those together and see what I get. Right, let's see what else I can find. So I really like this little brook here, but I've got down into the river. I don't want to try and trample over everything. What would be nice is sort of the some ferns in the foreground, maybe. Just looking around to see if there is anything I can use. There's certainly some opportunities. I quite like that one just there. Whether or not I can get an image, we'll see. Well, I couldn't really find another composition that I liked just at that one point, so there's plenty more to see. I mean, just look at that lovely light behind me. There's a little bit of cloud coming over every now and again. I felt a few spots of rain, but there's some lovely dappled light in this forest. So I'm going to take a walk along the river and then see what else I can find. Let's go. Well, as you can see, it's a magical place just along the river here. All these old trees, lots of moss on these boulders, ferns. Great place for photography. A little bit messy. All those Woodland photographers out there will know. It's not easy to find compositions. But on a warm day like today, it's a nice place to be. So I've got all day, so let's keep hunting for these photographs. just passing this slack piece of water between the rapids, and you can see the fish breaking the surface as they take insects from the surface. I've got no filters on, but I can just about see through the water. See every now and again a splash or two. Well, I know from the last few times I've been here on a sunny day, there's not going to be much to photograph along the river. It's very bright, and the contrast just in the woodland here is quite harsh as well. So I'm just going to walk up to where the rivers meet here and show you the view. Then I think I might go back to the brook and try one of the waterfalls a little bit further up. A bit more difficult to get to, but might be well worth it. As you can see, the river really is in some harsh light, so it's difficult to take photographs there. Lots of woodland birds flitting around, and also down there I can see some wagtails and dippers. But it's not going to be any good trying to take a photograph of them in this harsh light. So let's go back up and see if I can get another shot in the brook, and maybe some of the woodland birds I'll be able to get in the shade of the forest. We'll see. Well, I don't know if you can make it out, but there's some more small cascades in amongst these boulders down there. The only problem is it's quite a steep bank, so let's see how I can make my way down there. Okay, better idea. I've just noticed there's a path on the other side, so I should be able to cross the brook further down and then walk up, and then should be able to get a good photograph. Boy, this is hard work. Well, I made it to the grotto. What a lovely little spot. Lovely little cascade and some water flowing over the stones. I just want to get to a better position, so I'm going to have to get wet and get into the middle of the river. So time to pack the gear away and move out there. Don't want to drop my new camera in the water. So I have been trying to focus stack this image, but what I've noticed as I've done so is that the light is really getting quite harsh through the trees, and I'll show you in the back of camera what that's done, bearing in mind I'm trying to stack 3 or 4 images and they all need to look relatively the same. Let me show you. So on the back of camera here, if I just flick through these images, you can see the light changing. Hopefully that's in focus. But as I change the image, you can see the light tracking across. That one as well. Very different pictures. But this shows it the best, I guess. So, I think that's enough with the waterfalls. And let's head back up through the woodland, onto the moor, and see what we can find. But I think that's going to be too hot. But let's give it a go. Well, in the end, I quite liked these couple of images, especially this one with the boulder in the foreground and the lights on the water and the waterfall look really nice. And the same with this one, a little less foreground interest, but the sun shining through the trees and lighting up the waterfall, giving that dappled effect. Really nice. Well, I thought I'd try one last thing. Before I go, I'm just going to do a panorama of this whole scene in 2 layers, and that'll capture as much data as I possibly can, and then I'll see what I can do with that in post-processing, whether it becomes a panorama or just a large image with a lot of megapixels. Let's see what we can do with it. Well, this was a good bit of practice, but in the end the image didn't turn out that great. I just took too many frames, and when I put them together, as you can see, it's distorted the image quite a lot, and the far bank of the river is at quite an angle. But good practice. Okay, this time I really am going back up onto the moor, through the woodland, and I've done everything I can with these waterfalls, so time to go. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day before I go out onto the moorland. It's very warm now, and I know it's not going to be much fun walking across the open moorland back to the car. So I've enjoyed this morning down in the woods here, taking photographs of the brook, and definitely somewhere I'll come back. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and I'll try and be back every week. But for now, cheerio.